Hi, hello everyone. Let's discuss today on the test case document a comprehensive overview. I'll give you the brief discussion about the test case document, how this document should will write, from which document we write the test case document, how we can identify the business requirement or the functional requirement. From that requirement, how to write down the test case document. I'll explain the all these things. So let's move on the step by step. Okay, let's today's agenda is what is the test case document, and then why is it important. So what are its importance, key component of the test case document. I'll explain you all the components like test case id, then the descriptions, then the expected result, or the system provided result, or test case pass or fail, or description why that test case is pass or fail. Okay, that thing I'll explain you. Then structure of the test case document, I'll show you how the ideal test case document should look like, what the fields there, and how to write that all the fields in test case document. Then best practice of writing test case document, what are the approach you have to write down the test case document, what methodology you need to follow to write down the test case document, what thing contain in the test case document. So I'll explain you that thing also in detail. Then the benefits of well written test case document, what are the benefits you should get if your the test case document is correct, accurate. So their benefit can be you do in and out functionality testing of the functional like basic flow, alternative flow, exceptional flow, positive flow, negative flow. If your the test case document is a well written and all the test cases are covered in that test case document, so your software is bug free and it will be successfully perform in the production environment. So let's move on one by one. So let's first discuss on the what is a test case document. So basically, a test case is a document. It is an Excel based document where we write all the test cases. It may be the positive test cases. If it is in like suppose the customer onboarding, or suppose it is on the funds withdrawal from the ATM. So you should go the customer should enter the his ATM number. Okay, and the it should customer should enter the verify that customer is enter the PAN number, pin code, sorry, pin code, verify that pin code is correct. If the pin code is correct, then system will display account information of customer. Verify that all the buttons contain on that screen is usable or you verify that if user is click on the amount button, then system will display the amount enter amount screen where the customer will enter the amount. Verify that each customer able to enter the amount. The verify that the amount should be the multiply by available cash in the system. Once that is okay, then system once the customer click on okay, then system verify that is system calculate the amount, and withdraw the amount, and then verify that is customer receive the amount whatever entered by the client, and then verify that the amount is deducted from the customer account. So that's kind of the test cases we write in that document, and we will do all these things. So a formal document outlining a set of conditions or variables under which a tester will determine if the system under a test or is working correctly. So we have we build one of the system. So we do is whatever your the business requirement or functional requirement, so on that basis that system should work or not work, so that we will test in the test case document. And how it will be test and what are the return way to that document, we should write in a test case document. So it describe the step to be executed, expected result, and criteria for a success or failure. What are the criteria if that test case is fail, or what are the criteria if that test case is a success? So that thing are entirely written in the test case document. Sir has a detailed plan for a testing specific future model or the entire application. how we will do test in that entire application, what are the prerequisites, what are the steps we are define for that application. So all these things, what are the data we need to enter, so and what type of data should show validation, so that all these things we are written into the test case document. And I'll display you the example of test case document. Obtain the part of large test part. Yeah, it's the important, it's the part of test plan whenever you prepare for the test plan. So then why is it important? So why the test case document is important? So it clarity and consistency. So it provide a clear ambiguous step for the tester, ensure the consistent execution. So if there are the n number of tests, test scenarios in the testing, well, while we are doing the testing in UAT environment or the SIT environment, so there is n number of scenarios. So we don't miss any scenario. So if we miss some scenarios, then it will be bug in the production environment and we face another challenges. So we make sure that we are test all these scenarios, so that uh, make surety we should get from the test case document. Coverage, it help ensure the comprehensive test coverage, and reduce the chance of misdetect. Yes, I already mentioned it help us to reduce the chance of defects. If we cover all the test cases, all the possible scenarios test cases, it may be positive, negative, and we doing the testing on all these scenarios, so it will be improve your efficiency, it will improve your reduce the chance of take the reverse of the code. Okay, so it's the better way. Then the traceability, we should track is the requirement testing. So what are we done in the testing, what we are not done in the testing. So we will track all the testing scenarios and track all the test cases. Okay, all the testing, where we are, what testing we are done. So we are track all these testing with using the traceability, so that help us to traceability of the requirements. So links the requirement to test cases, allow the verification that all the functionality are tested or not. Yeah, the test case document will help us, the tester, the quality team, or the business analyst, is what we are written in the functional requirement, specific technical requirement, or the business requirement in the BRD FSD approach note. So all these scenarios, all this functionality, we are test or not test. So that's will be done by the test case document. Then reusability, well defined test case can be reused across the different testing cycle. Regression testing, okay, there are the different kinds of testing, is the regression testing, last one testing. Okay, so where that is we use same document to do that all these things. So defect detection, absolutely, if we have the facility early and efficient identification of bugs, if we will prepare the document and we step by step move on the how the test case document will work, so definitely we will get the defects, and we will immediately report to the development team, and they will fix that bug, and then we will move again that bugs. Then the communication act as a common reference point for the tester, developer, and the stakeholder. Yeah, once we done testing part, so that document we will send to the client, and there is a continuously changes in the code. So if we done some testing, and if there is a we deploy another patch in that code, so maybe your testing, maybe this remove, or it shows different error. So we should have the the documented way. So I'll test that functionality, and it should, when I'll test that, it should be work correctly, and I'll pass that functionality. So that's the benefit of the test case documents. And progress the tracking, we should know, we should have the, if there is a 500 test cases, so we should know how many test cases we are test. So 100, 200, and we should analyze that when will be the that testing is completed. So we have the clear milestone to complete the SIT testing, to complete the UAT testing, to complete the regression testing. So when will be that move in the production environment? So it will help us to progress the tracking, enable the tracking for testing progress and reporting. So that's one of the important. Let's move on the next slide. So the key components of the test case document. So if you are going to prepare the test case document, so what field should have in your test case document and how to write that each field, what you need to write that field. So let's we are discuss that thing in detail and I'll explain you one of the test case document. Let's suppose consider one of the scenarios. Let's suppose you are onboarding client on your system, so there is a different kind of the testing scenarios. So let's test case id, it is a unique identifier of your test cases. So it start from tc011. So then the if there is a login functionality, client onboarding functionality, or the order placing functionality, or the report functionality. So report 001, onboarding 001, order 001, like that also. We also want to specify that thing on the basis of their modules. So that's the test case id. Then the test case name and the title. So yeah, we should mention the name and the title of each test cases. So login test cases, onboarding test cases, or the order, MF mutual fund order, equity order, derivative order. So that's the name of the test cases. So and it is the title of the test cases. So that should have there also. Then the model features, to specify the part of applicable being tested. So in model features, what if suppose there is the client onboarding, so there is a single client, join client, either were survivor, any were survivor. It's no, it's the different model or the different things for only the client onboarding. So that thing is mentioned in there. If there is the order, if there, let's suppose consider the mutual fund order, so there is a different types of order. One is a purchase order, switch order, redemption order, also SIP order, STP order, SWP order, additional purchase order. So that's the model and the feature. So that should be there. And there is once there is a verify that menu is working correctly, verify that if user clicks on the new button, then the order screen is display. So that's kind of the scenario or the test thing we should write in that. So the prerequisites, condition that must be meet before the executing the test cases. Okay, so if you are going to, to prepare the test cases for the login credential, so like the condition should be the user ID should be active, the user enter the accurate password. If suppose there is the let's the placing the mutual fund order kind of the scenario or the model, so there is the client must be activated, client dictionary should have the mutual fund product, or the client should be a major, or let's suppose the scheme which you are selected by the scheme should be active, you know so that's kind of the prerequisites required for to placing the order. Then the step, so each step we should mention in detail. So client should be click on the URL, so you need to mention that URL. So on that URL the system will display the pop-up of the login screen. So user should enter the mobile number, has the ID on the password, and then click on the enter button. Then system will display the home page. So that's the key steps to complete that the test case. So that should be a mention there in. Then the test case data. So the password, the username, and the scheme name, the investor name, or the RM name, some RM name. So that's the prerequisites of test case data to choose to select the nominee details. So that should be the test data. So that should be their username, password, input values. So that should be there. This kind of data is there. Then the most important, the expected result. Once we are complete, you are completing that stage. So how the system should work, what you want from that system to work. So the anticipated outcome, if the system behaves has a design, what to the system requirements, functional requirement kind. So that's the expected result, or we are expecting that system should work in that way. Then the post condition, once the process is done completed, so what will be happen, it should be a option, the post condition, the state of system after the test case is execution. Once the your test case is okay, and then what should be the condition, the system should follow, and the actual result. during the execution, while we are doing the testing, so what are the the system will produce the result, it should be matched with the expected result, or it should be do some failures, or it should be not accepting your the prerequisite detail. So that's the actual result, the actual outcome observed during the testing, what you observe actually while you are when you are doing the testing. So then the status during the execution, maybe it's pass, fail, block, or the skip, or it may be the slow stopper, or if you can skip that thing and move the further testing. So accordingly you should make the the status of testing and the comments or the notes. So if the test case is failed, so you should write why that test case is failed. So the order screen is not visible, the active screen scheme I should not able to find on the while I am searching that scheme name. There is a nominee data are not coming on the order screen. Okay, there is that URL is not working, not able to find the active customers. So these are the the comments you should write in that the observation detail. And then the priority, so you should be prioritize your requirements, so high priority, low priority, medium, indicating importance. So what are the high priority the test cases, so that should be a priority, top priority, and it should be immediately if that is failed, then immediately report to the development team or the manager, so they can take immediate action on that. Then the tester, the person who are actually doing the testing on that test cases, so this person is the tester, name of the person who are executing the test cases, or who is doing the testing, and the executed date, so the date on which the test case is doing, or the work the the performing the test cases, so that's the test case executing executed date. So let's move on the next slide. So structure of the test case document, it's important part. So structure of test case document, a test case document typically contains, so what things contain in the test case document, so it should be a structure way. So documented header, so document title, so there is the like NSC review MCR, client onboarding CR, or there is the taxable gain loss reported changes, or the client holding report changes, bars report changes. So all these things in the document headers, then the version of that document, if that there is a continuously change in the business requirement or the technical requirement, so we need to update the test case document. So you need to prepare the versions of test case document in the column and add these each version, and then complete detail why we are updated, which test cases we are updated, why we update that test cases, tag with that test case with the business requirement document. Okay, then author who is write that test case document, then the date at which that finalize the test case document. So that comes under the header of the test case document. Then the table of content for the easy navigation, so that's I already mentioned that all the things, that is a table of content in the previous slide. Let's just I'll show you. So that is the table of content. And then the for the table of content means what are the scenario, let's say I'm wrong, so what are the scenarios you were covered, so that's the table of content. And then the induction, there the purpose and the scope of document, what the purpose of that document, why you are doing that testing, what are the scope, what are the in scope functionality and out scope functionality of the test case document. So that should be mentioned, that what are the features or functions or the requirement you are covering in that document, and what you are not covering as per the business requirement document and functional requirement document. And guys, I'll also give you one important thing. The test case document are prepared from the FSD, functional specification document, and the business requirement document. Whenever you are going to prepare the functional the business test case document, you should refer the functional specification document. It's most important, guys. You should read line by line that document and write down the test cases accord on the basis of that document. So test case details obtain the potential in a table format. Each row present the single test case with all its item ID, name, step, expected result, actual result. Also, all these things I'll mention in that slides. So then group by model, features and functionality. So that is there, that's the structure of test case document. Then the test environment. So you are doing the SIT environment, UAT environment, regression, you are doing the testing, or hardware, network, detail about the hardware, network, or the the data setup required for testing, whatever you need to require to complete that test case. So that should be mentioned there. Then the assumptions and dependency, any assumption made for the external dependency. So if you are the API related changes, so the system we are interacting with, that system should be activated. That system should be continuously giving the response whenever we hitting the API. So that's kind of the assumption is there. Glossary and notes, whatever the words or the short form we use in that test case. So that should be mentioned there, and the revision history tracking the changes made to be the document. So that part should be there. Let's move on the important things. That's the example of the test case document. Okay, I'll give you the example of the test case structure, how it should look like, what are there, the important things. So first column, typical test case document should look like that. The headers of that document is, first one is a test case ID. Okay, the second one is a test case name. The third one is a model, prerequisite, test tape, test data, expected result. So I already give you the test case ID should be TC, for that is a login. So 001, TC client onboarding 001, TC order place 001. So that kind of the test case ID you should mention. So it is easy to identify, what the features or model that case have. Then the test case name, like valid the login, invalid the login, add, placing the order, onboarding the client, like this. And then the models, it is a login model, shipping model, or the client onboarding model, order model, equity order model, derivative order model, fixed income order model, or the mutual fund order model. So that's all these model is there. Then the prerequisites, if you are going to doing that, the testing, so the client should be activate, is if is the mutual fund, the model, the scheme should be activate. Okay, the order screen should be visible, so that's the API should be working. So that's the prerequisites when we are doing something, so that should be there. Okay, then, and I have separately, preconditions, prerequisites. I separately created one of the video for the precondition. You can visit that video and understand that thing. Then that's test step. It's the most important thing. So navigate to the login page first. The client should be user should be navigate to the login page, enter the valid credentials, so like the mobile number, OTP, and click on the login button. So test data is, the ID password, and you expected user should log in and the reacted to the dashboard. So that's the expected result from them. Then the actual result. So if all these things, step or customer follow the user follow the correctly, the test data is correct, but the system will show, the invalid data. So accordingly the page will update it. So then the navigate to the login. So then similarly we will do on the next things, the error message will be invalid credentials. So that should be there. So let's move on the next slide. So best practices for writing the test cases. So the first one is a clear and concise. Use a simple, ambiguous and language. So that test case document is readable and every stakeholder should understand your test case document. It should be a, detail. It should contain the detail and all the evidences should be you attach in that test case document. Then the atomic, each test case should test one the specific functionality. It cover all the functionality which are in that test case. So independent, the test case should ideally be independent of each other. There is, the test case should not depend on the other test cases. So it should be independent, it should be okay, so it should be testing by itself, reproducible. Steps should be detailed enough for everyone to reproduce it. Yeah, the test case steps should be a reproducible, and everyone in it is in the SIT environment, regression environment, UAT environment, or in the production environment. So in the local environment, everyone can do test same functionality in that environment. Okay, traceable. It should be a trackable. Okay, when you link the requirement to the user stories, maintainable, design for easy update for the future uses. That should be a maintain. That requirement should be a maintainable. All these things will be maintained. Then the prioritize, assign the priority based on the criteria and frequency of use review, have the test cases review by prior or the stakeholder. They should be review and they should be identify the test case functionality tested correctly or not correctly. If the tester will miss something, so why they miss, so that should be they review and understand positive and negative, both the invalid and valid scenario or the error scenario should be covered in that test case document. And X cases, consider the boundary and the condition and edge cases, all these things in that test case document. So let's move on the benefits of well written test cases. So it improve the software quality, definitely. Let's more the reviews and reliable, and that will help us to build the software which is a bug free. There is a no bug, and user will experience the good experience. User will increase their the experience. User will satisfy. Okay, reduce the rework. If you are doing the correctly test, your test case cover all the scenarios, so there is no chance to the fail in that code in the production environment, and there is no rework on that. So efficient testing, streamline the testing process and making the faster and more effective, and cover all the cases which all the scenarios we want to test, and that should be a documented all. It helps us to document it all the scenarios with the evidence, with the date and with the time. So enhance the collaboration, faster and better understanding and communication among them, team members. It will be make the collaboration between the teams, and then better decision making. Provide a clear data for release decision and risk assessment, knowledge transfer. Yeah, it helps to transfer the valuable knowledge base for team and the team members. So that's done. Thank you for attending this session, and thanks. If you have any open point, if you have some questions, so please make comment. I'll be there for happy to solve your questions and your queries. Thanks for watching my videos, and please do like and subscribe my channel, so that's motivate me to create more videos and explain you more the topics related to the business analyst. Thanks.